Welcome to XBI Podcast.
Go crazy. We're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am your host. Oh, wait. I got lost though. Now we're live. Okay, now I see.
No,
Hey,
we've been live. We thought we would have
Yeah.
no delayed, but we do have delayed. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. Hey guys, we're trying something new. So guys, this is something new we're trying out. Give us your feedback after we're done with the show and see how it goes. But so let's start the show. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Xbox International. This is episode 16. I am your host, the most sexiest man alive outside of Henry Cavill, the awesome, the incredible, the one who invented the poop bucket in State of Decay 2, Crazy Louie. What's up, chat? How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is good. I hope everybody's happy over here in chat. And now, guys, stand up, make some noise for me to introduce the Xbox International team. Introducing first, the man with the beautiful baldest head out there, the man with the million mask, the man who has a Forza fever and he never lets go of Forza no matter how much we do for him. He needs an intervention. Hello, Silent Cypher. How are you doing today?
My goodness, my friend, you chewed the scenery on that one something fierce, didn't you? It's great to have you. It's great to be here. It's great to be hanging out with you guys on a Wednesday. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, that's awesome. And what have you been playing, my brother? What have you been doing lately?
So you know what? I've been bouncing around a little bit more this last week. I jumped in a little bit more on Alan Wake again. I've been playing that. What was it? Never Yield, which I actually saw in Dutch's showcase this weekend. So that was the first time I had ever seen that as a cool, like, basically endless runner. That's been a lot of fun, and I got my son into that too. So that was a fun one to play around with. It's pretty cheap too, so it's definitely worth picking up and giving a shot. But besides that, God, what else was I playing? Played a little more Fortnite. I jumped into Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I had actually never really played that game. I played it for all of maybe 5 or 10 minutes when it first came out. And so I've been playing around with that. And man, that game holds up. Like I think the only thing that bums me out is that we don't have a Series X or S patch for that game. Because like the visuals are great, but man, if we could get those up to 4K, like that would be chef's kiss, just awesome. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
That's good. Me, what have I been playing? Well, I played a little bit of Resident Evil. I think it was on Monday. I finally beat the Dollhouse, which I have a bunch of jump scares over there at my Twitch. Nice. If you guys want to go over there and laugh. But other than that, I've been playing, like always, Elden Ring, trying to advance a little by little in Elden Ring. It's been hard, but yeah, I'm doing it. I'm trying to make it. In the past few weeks, I have lost 300,000 souls, so I told myself, hey, let me take a little break from Elden Ring. I'm losing too much souls, so yeah. But I'll be jumping back in pretty soon and have some fun. So now, go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, man, it hurts. Like I remember even just in early game, right? Like losing 2,000 or 3,000 and just being like, oh man, that was like a quarter of my upgrade. But I know, like, obviously as you got up to where you're at, like I'm sure, I don't know what, like 100,000 is for an upgrade, right? Like it extends and gets worse and worse.
78,000. So yeah, you gotta yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's a big headache. Yep. Gets on you getting my butt kicked. So now, introducing. Oh man, it's time to introduce the man who is the worst driver in Forza Horizon 5. The man who his kid gets more kills than he does in Halo. The man who he got beaten by his kid in Hot Wheels. Also, the man who is a big Boston Celtics fan, Mr. Sour Blow. But where'd he go?
That's right. That's right. This is a surprise for Mr. J Vargas. I know he's running around. He said he'll come later on, but he's just hiding because I got this for him too. We just swept them. So yeah, nothing. We're here just to have some fun. I'm excited to see Jay Vargas in the chat. I know he's hiding.
He's hiding. He's gonna come and kick you. That's what he's gonna come and do.
But this is what I got for him.
Oh, what? You put your gear on just to mess with him? No worries. He'll get you next year. No worries. He'll get you next year. What have you been playing, Sour Bro, besides Yu-Gi-Oh, Hot Wheels, and all that stuff? Well, you play the same thing every week. What are you playing, bro?
Well, I beat Guardians of the Galaxy.
Awesome.
And
man.
I started playing a little bit of I always forget the name. For some reason I always say True Colors first. And it's hold on. What is it? True Colors is the last part. Is that narrative game?
Is it? Wait, no.
Stranger.
It's not Stranger. Is it Stranger Things?
No, not Stranger.
Life is strange.
Life is strange. There you go.
I was hoping you were going to get to it.
I always get it confused. Yes, Life is Strange. And yeah, it's a beautiful game.
But
what was that?
I got a question for y'all. Have y'all seen Stranger Things? I have never seen Stranger Things.
What? That's awesome. You gotta watch it.
Good.
Yeah, so good.
I'll put it on my list to watch on Stranger Things since we started talking about that. So guys, why don't we start with the quick rapid fire news? We got some quick news.
Before you do that,
All right, what's up?
I want to say something.
Go ahead,
Today's episode is about our 3 pillars, and we just want to let you guys know we XBI focus on 3 pillars, which are community. Community.
Did you forget?
Help me out. Community.
Hustle.
Content.
Loyalty. And
content.
respect.
No, community content.
Okay.
And commitment. Sorry about that. Wow. And we can add a 4th one. Can we? The Celtics. Could that be the 4th pillar?
No. Nope.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Out there. No.
Yeah. So quick thing. Let me try to go fast with this. Yeah, we have been doing different things, and we would like the community to please give us feedback. Let us know some of the things that we are doing. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where can we improve? For example, right now, whenever we have a guest, we have been putting clues, kind of like, to get the community to interact with us, to try to guess and see if anyone could actually guess who our next guest. We started with our previous guest. We already gave the first clue for our next guest. And after the show, our community manager is actually going to post the next clue for our next guest that is coming next week. Something else that we're doing is every Friday, we're trying to play with the community.
Yep.
So if you're free on Friday nights, feel free to hop on to our Twitch, which is Xbox_International, and we can play. In Twitter, we always post 4 games, and from those 4 games, you can vote which game you want to play with us in Friday. Sometimes, you might not get the game you want to play, but something we are doing is whenever we play a game, we eliminate that game from the list. We leave those other 3, and then we add a new one. So you will continue to have a chance, to vote for the game you want to play with us, and eventually, hopefully you'll get it, and we'll be able to play. And yeah, those are some of the things we're doing. We're continuing to improve, and hopefully, we can make it fun.
All right. That is awesome. So before we go to the rapid fire notes, let's start off and give a shout out to the chat. We got people here tonight. Mr. Grasso, hello. How are you doing, my dear sir? Dron TJ, welcome, man. Happy to see you here, Mr. Dron TJ. Yes. Eternal Umbra, how are you doing, brother? Solo Gaming, hello. What's up, Solo? Decado, what's up, dude? Happy to see you here also. Also here. Let me see. And everybody that is lurking, hello, what's up? And happy to see you here. And welcome to XBI. So now, let's go for the rapid news. It's time to start with something really quick. It says here, Xbox had its best sales performance now in March in 11 years. That's which I say it's awesome to know. Congrats, Xbox, on outperforming in 11 years. Your best sales this past month, right? On March. Awesome, man. Really awesome. Also, guys, here's another news. Yakuza Super Talk stage event will be streamed in April 29th. That event will be online and in Japanese. So probably there's going to be subtitles, guys. So yeah. They will talk about past, present, and future of the Yakuza franchise. We might hear about the next Yakuza game, and let's see what's gonna happen. Your thoughts on this, Mr. Silent Cypher? Are you happy to hear it? Are you a big Yakuza fan? Do you like Yakuza? Have you played it?
Yes, yeah. So I actually I spent a decent amount of time in Yakuza 0, but the one that definitely got me was the most recent one, the Yakuza Like a Dragon. A game, all those games are just so bombastic and just like really silly. And it's a lot of fun to go into those. Like, it's just, those games are developed way different than like your usual like American made games and stuff like that. Like, there's very much that Japanese influence. There's just a lot of love in that game, and there's so many weird things in that game. Like, I don't know if you ever played it, but like there's instances where you're like fighting like a lobster that like grows and like becomes human size, and like you find, I don't know, I don't want to spoil anything in case you ever play it, but there are some missions that go places, and there might be one or two where you think you're helping out like a child, and it turns out that you're actually helping out an adult in a diaper.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
much
awesome.
Like yourself. It's great.
Man.
But no, it's great. I'm excited for what is that? That'd be Friday. I think that we'll end up seeing that. So I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Yeah, that comes out Friday, April 29th. That'll be pretty cool to see and watch and see what is going to come in the future. How about you, Salvo? Have you ever played Yakuza? Have you ever tried it? Tell me about it. I mean, if you're excited about this event and that you're excited they might announce a new Yakuza game.
Well, honestly, I haven't played one, but I have seen several gameplay. I have seen trailers, and it does look pretty insane. I was thinking of jumping into it, but if I do, I would like to go through the full series. I saw that the first, I think the first 3 they went out of Game Pass, so they're no longer there. So that's a bummer. Do you know what's the length of each one, or are they very long games? Or
they are sizable games. Yeah, that's why I say like it's an investment.
Okay. I thought they were maybe like 12 hours, 15-hour games or something.
No,
way more. Okay.
I think even if you did just like the main story, it's pretty lengthy. I know with with Yakuza 0, I think I put in somewhere around like 20 hours or something before I got shifted to like a different character. And I was like, oh wow, okay, like we're doing a whole different thing now. And like it just kept going and going. But I've always heard that those games go into like the 40s to 50s or more hours. So I would almost recommend like either do 0 or maybe just jump right to Like a Dragon.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that. I know Like a Dragon plays different than the previous one, right?
It does. Yeah, it does. So it's actually got a different combat to it. So with I think basically what they ended up doing, the original ones, it was actual fighting, like button mashing and stuff. And on Like a Dragon, they actually shifted to more like a turn-based thing. And it's interesting. It's like an active turn-based. So it's kind of like what I think XCOM 2 ended up doing it, where basically it keeps moving to an extent. It doesn't stop completely like the old Final Fantasies, but it does have that turn-based type of style to it. Gives you enough time to like stop, add potions, or like use different attacks and stuff.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. How about you, chat? Are you all Yakuza fans? Really? Tell me about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts about the Yakuza band. Are you excited there's going to be a new Yakuza game going to be announced or something? Because really, I hope they announce a new Yakuza game because, man, if that series is so good, they should really keep on working on it and keep on putting stuff for it. So, yeah. Now let's move on to something really, really, really huge here. Halo Season 2 will include ties in from the Halo TV series. What do you guys think about that? I mean, seriously, when I heard that, I got really happy. I was like, wow, they're going to put things in Season 2 from the TV series. I mean, I got excited. I was like, I can imagine what kind of armor they should put in. I mean, I was actually getting really happy about it. I was like, maybe they should put Master Chief's bottom for the armor so I can go around and moon everybody around the game. That would be pretty cool. What do you think about that, Silent Cypher? Are you happy they're going to put some stuff from the TV show in the game in Halo Season 2?
You know what? I do not need to see Boxenberger's butt on on Halo multiplayer. Or special Nick's butt, as it were, also on Halo multiplayer. No, I'm curious about this, and I think off the air from here, I think I had mentioned it previously that I'm a little bit nervous how long it's going to be before we actually see that content. I know right now, like the trajectory is kind of rough for 343. It's not been a fun time for them recently with some of the announcements that they've made and some of the shifts in the seasons. So I would just be curious, like when the end user actually gets to see this content actually hit the game, right? One way or another, it's going to be cool. I really wish that maybe we would just see some of the old maps brought in for a while to like patch things up while we wait. But if they bring stuff from the TV series, I'd be cool with it. I don't know what I'd want them to bring though. Like I don't like that main girl character so much.
I got a theory.
What's your theory? Let's hear it.
Okay, I don't know if you've seen today's trailer from Lone Wolf Season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So they also did a small presentation where they talked about how, Lone Wolf, it's about Spartans that are kind of like, a little bit mercenary. They go out and, they kind of adapt to the situation. If you see their armor, some of their armors are not, all the same. Like if they have to switch around, etc. And they go and look for things and, bring them back. And the trailer itself, the narrative trailer, which is a teaser trailer, they show that somehow the Spartan went to get something and brought it back, and they were trying to like take his chip out, and they basically say, don't do it, we need to see what the person brought, etc. What if the item that the Spartan brought is the same item that Halo got? in the series. That Master Chief got in the series. Is it called the Keystone? What if they do
Yes.
something like that? That they get an artifact, or even if it's not the same artifact, but something like related. That would be kind of cool, and that's kind of ties into the series.
Yeah.
Would be different.
That would be different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, oh my god, I saw they did. I don't know if it was done purposely or what happened, but during the show, there was a part where the kind of something came in, kind of like it looked almost like a commercial came in, but it was kind of like a transmission and something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it kept saying, delayed this and that. I think they're teasing the flood. I think that's what they're teasing. I don't think it's coming now, but I think down the future. And I always said, I hope they do this. I hope they just tease us that the flood is coming without telling us directly, and then just have the flood come. Just come. Just not show us the flood. I think that would be amazing. That I don't know. Maybe we're in a live event or something, and then the flood just comes, and you have that first experience. I think that would be awesome. There's a lot of cool things they talked about in the season 2. What they're planning. I mean, some of them they're not gonna add immediately, but it seems that they're gonna add more stuff slowly throughout the season, which is pretty good. And they also talked about the customization, for example. They're working on certain things which they can't add everything because, for example, they were explaining how the armors, there's certain parts where, because they're trying to make the parts that if you get a part, let's say you get a shoulder, that you can use it on all your armors, like on all three of them. So that would be cool. But they're saying, kind of like the torso, etc. part, that doesn't adapt to all of them because the skeleton is, kind of different, which it kind of makes sense. So they're going to start working with the ones that are easier to do. And then, they will slowly do the same to the other, which I think is pretty cool.
Are you actually, so you're pro flood then? You liked the flood?
I like the flood. I like the flood, definitely, because I think there's a lot of things you can do with the flood. Like I would like them to make a game with a civilian running from the flood, like make it a horror game, and that would be awesome too.
Yeah. See, if you lean into the horror side of it, I am all for it with the flood. Like, when you're running away from them, especially on the harder difficulty, it does kind of become a horror game because there's that nervousness. Like when they latch onto you, you are done. Generally, right?
They could make it like a GTFO style,
Yeah, they could.
They could just land somewhere. A couple guys from Reach jump in
but
there.
You see, in a way, I wouldn't want them to make it like that because then it will be like it's like you're playing with Spartan. You might as well just do an like an expansion to Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
I mean like a own game with a civilian where you kind of like you don't feel like you're a Spartan because if you're a Spartan, it's like he could just destroy a bunch of flood. But if you're a civilian,
not overpowered or anything.
You're vulnerable as a civilian.
Oh no, I'm talking about the regular guys from Reach. That's what I'm talking about. Like nothing Spartan-ish, You know what I mean? Like something just normal, just a regular Marine, get in there and they're facing the flood. Without all the stuff that the Master Chief has. Like he jumps high, he does this, he does that. No, just these regular guys jumping in there, a couple of weapons shooting around without these monsters chasing after you, latching onto you. That would be pretty fun. That would be pretty amazing. It'll be like aliens, like when the Colonial Marines jumped in the cave into the alien cave, and all those aliens just came at you. It'd be pretty much like
it'll be cool.
That would be pretty cool. Also, did you guys see the trailer today? Lone Wolves, man. I mean, that got me super excited when I saw that trailer. I mean, wow. Now I pretty much think I know where the co-op situation is gonna go because we saw a lot more Spartans in that trailer. Did you see?
Oh,
Did you
so
guys see
something
that?
pretty cool
Yeah,
to add to that is
yeah,
they were explaining that if you watch the trailer,
yeah.
one of the Spartan there is your Spartan, and the Spartan is gonna show up whichever way, however way you have it customized.
That is awesome.
So that is cool. So your Spartan is it's always gonna the cinematic or scene, the story is gonna be with your Spartan. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is gonna be. That is. I mean, seriously, that season two looks fantastic. I mean, the lone wolf situation, and you see a bunch of Spartans that got me excited. I was like, this is gonna lead to a pretty cool co-op story, and I hope they do come up with a co-op story, not just add it just to add co-op. I hope they do come up with a cool co-op story, like different on Spartans and stuff like the series. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Oh, Jedi Knight ODST, Firefight, and NCC. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Jedi Knight Peter. You got me there. You got me there. Yeah, that's how I want it. Also, guys, now let's move on to Blizzard's Diablo Immortal for mobile launches in June 2nd, and it's also coming to PC. Silent Cipher, are you a big fan of Diablo? And will you play this Diablo Immortal on PC?
I am a big fan of Diablo, but I am a little bit nervous about this one being as it was the mobile version, right? Because
Yeah.
we've got an actual Diablo 4 coming eventually. That being said, from what I have heard, it sounds like they've done a really good job with this mobile one from like some of the previews and some of the impressions some people have brought up. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I just would be curious what type of mobile hooks and stuff they have, right? Like, is it going to be that pay to play thing of, okay, you can play this for like a half hour, you can go on a raid, but then you're going to have to rest for a little bit unless you want to buy like 7 shards to continue on your mission, or if you die, like I just wonder. I wonder what mobile hooks could possibly jump out there in the process. That always makes me nervous with the mobile games. Like maybe I'll be wrong, and I hope I am. I'm just completely off the ball on that one. But I just always get a little nervous about what they might put in if it's going to be a free to play. So I'd be curious on that part. But I'll give it a shot. 100%. Like Diablo in my pocket, and I can just play that whenever. Sure. Yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Diablo series. I mean, I played Diablo, the first one, second one, all through. I'm a big fan of it, and Diablo is a pretty awesome game. And yeah, I'm actually excited for this mobile version. I want to give it a shot. And yeah, if it's coming on cell phone, I'll try it. If not, I'll install it also on PC because it's going to be coming to PC, and we'd like to see how it goes on PC. How about you, Sablo? Are you a big fan of the Diablo series? Are you going to be playing this Diablo Immortal June 2nd when it comes out?
Uh, Probably yeah. I most likely I did like Diablo, even though I was more of a Warcraft and Starcraft fan. Those were my two Blizzard games. But I'm definitely down to giving it a try. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome because Diablo's a good game and you gotta play it, man. If you have never sat down before and play it, guys, really sit down and play it. Diablo's a lot of fun. So,
Especially number 2, that remaster. So
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm stuck again with the big monster. I gotta go back and level up to fight that big monster at the end of level
Yeah.
2. Oh
You
man,
know,
that monster's hard.
I want your opinions on this real quick because I actually just jumped back into Diablo 2, and I had played a bunch of 3, and I feel like with 3, there was so much grind that I just didn't enjoy.
No.
But when I go back to Diablo 2,
Mhm.
I just the general structure of that game and like the pace and stuff. Yes, you grind here and there to get better weapons and stuff like that, but I felt like there wasn't as much of a grind as 3 was. Like, it just feels like a better game in general.
It is a better game. It's a much better game, definitely.
But here's the thing, though. But in Diablo 2, it's hard to find new weapons. For me, it's hard. Like to find new weapons, tougher
Yes.
weapons, it's kind of hard.
It does
And
force you out of your comfort zone to go into some of those
Yeah.
caves that are
gotta
a
go
bit
and
up
explore
past
stuff.
your level. Yeah.
oh no, because that's what I do. Every time I play Diablo, the way I level up is I go to every single cave there is. I go into all of them, right? I just go around them, beat all the caves because it helps you level up, and that way you clear the map. I like to clear the map. That's what I like to do. And then go down, go to another place. Let me clear this cave, go back out. But the thing is, another thing that's really a big headache on that thing is the storage thing, right? It's just I find
Yeah.
that the storage thing is really small. You run around and you kill a couple monsters, and all of a sudden you're just full. You're like, why am I full again? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's my biggest headache on Diablo 2. But it's a fun game either way. I mean, I've beaten it back in the day when it came out. I beat it. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, getting back into it now was a lot of fun. Except that we cannot kill the second monster. I do not know why. It's being a pain in the butt. It's being really hard. So I guess I have to grind more to level up more to see if we can actually kill it.
Sounds like you gotta get back into Tristram and level up a little bit.
Yes, I do. Really, we do because I'm playing it with a friend and we've been getting our butts kicked really bad. Really, really bad. All right, now Techland announces 5 million copies of Dying Light 2 have been sold. All right. It says here, the article says that by February 28th, the game has sold 5 million copies across all platforms. Also, Dying Light 1 has sold more than 28 million in lifetime sales. That is awesome news. Really fantastic. Happy to hear that those guys are selling really well that game because Dying Light is an awesome, awesome game. Silent Cipher, have you played it? Did you beat it?
So I have played a good bit of it, but I'm nowhere near beating it. I feel like I dove into it for a bit. From what I understand, I think they ended up patching this to fix it. But I was actually playing a lot more on Series S at the time. Because during when that game came out in February, it was really cold downstairs, and in my old age I don't enjoy sitting there in the cold playing the games as much on the X. Something I should have just brought the X upstairs and used it instead, but laziness also. But that being said, I was testing the Series S. I was putting it through its trials and just seeing how it would operate on there. And it was good, but I bounced back and forth between Series S and X a couple times, and the frame rate situation was really jarring. So at that time, I had actually set it to the side because I had heard that they were talking about bringing a 60 frames per second mode to the Series S. Like I said, I believe they actually did patch that in finally, so it's just a matter of me getting back to it at this point. It's kind of a bad time now, right? Because like we actually have games that are going to start coming out at a pretty brutal pace, and I just wonder how long it's going to be before I actually get back to that game. I would love to play it again though, and honestly, I know we talked about it back in the day. I think that would be a great one for the community night sometime. Well, I guess not a community night since it's only 4 players. But it would be good if we end up doing a stream sometime and we just want to do the 4 of us or something like that.
Yeah, because here's the thing though, that Dying Light game, I remember when it came out with like a bunch of errors, and I think today or soon they're gonna come up with patches to fix a couple of issues it had with the game, with the co-op stuff and a couple of things. That's what I read about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that they do come and fix it because really, I mean, after I am done with Elden Ring, I want to go jump into and play Dying Light 2. I want to get into that game really because it's one of my favorite games. I played last generation. It was a lot of fun when it came out in Xbox One and PlayStation. I had a lot of fun with that game, man. Really, I want to get into that game. How about you, Sarah Blow? Have you played Dying Light 2? Are you going to give it a try or not? Well, I know you're not gonna play it because you're a scaredy cat, but
No, what do you mean? No, I actually, I haven't played the first one yet. I did purchase it, so that's on my
Oh,
back catalog,
that's how you.
unfortunately. But I'm playing. I am playing the Dishonor, which has, I wouldn't say it's the same, but has some similar things that remind me like how kind of like how it looks a little bit. But of course, they're different games. Just don't. But I don't know. For some reason, it does. Like like the first person camera, and how you kind of like sneak, and it's
Yeah,
different. But I don't know. For some reason, it reminds me.
I mean, Dying Light 2 got a little bit like a motion sickness. Like for me, when I played it,
oh yeah.
I was getting a little bit of motion sickness. I was like, they need to fix something because I felt a little bit like that. You
So
know, yeah,
I think it might have been some of the dips in the frame rate because I've
yeah,
noticed that personally is like with Mirror's Edge when that wasn't very optimized way, way, way back in the day, and
yeah.
that came out and you had those dips in frame rate, just like Rage. I could play it for 5 or 10 minutes, but all of a sudden I just felt gross, like I felt off, and I was like, I gotta get away from it for a little bit.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
The Perfect Dark game is supposed to have play a little bit like that. What do you guys think they're gonna do? Like, do you think it's gonna be full like that, and it will, with all the parkours and stuff, or do you think it's gonna just be um more of a less, a slower pace game? What do you guys think it's gonna be like?
So what you're trying to say is that Perfect Dark is going to be pretty much as agile as guys from Dying Light move that pretty much move in the same fast pace, or that's what you're
Oh
asking?
No, I'm just asking, what do you guys think it's gonna play like exactly? Because you know they're of course they're rebooting the franchise,
All right.
and I think they're taking more of the N64 version, which is the much
Mhm.
better version. So that's where they're taking some inspiration. But they also say they I believe I also that's what they said, they're going to like innovate on Perfect Dark, and that they're gonna have, what was the word? They're gonna have certain elements of and it's gonna play kind of like, from what I heard them talking, it's gonna play kind of like a Metal Gear, but in a first person camera in certain aspect, because it's gonna have a lot of spy elements,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also I believe it's gonna have some parkour. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that game.
No, I mean that's well. I hope it's like it's pretty much just a little bit of a fast pace. Like for example, if you're like you get that option, like if you get to move like a little bit more faster and stuff like that. Like yeah. Hmm. I
But
mean,
as fast as Dying Light, you think, or
no, I
no?
don't
Right?
think it could be as fast. Not like Master Chief fast because that would be way too fast, right? What kind of game we could compare? I'm trying to think though. Like another shooter game we could compare it, but no, nothing comes to my mind right now to say, okay, let me compare it with this, let me compare it with that. Because but if it comes out as fast as Dying Light, that I think it could like be a little bit more
I,
slower.
I think
I
it's
think.
kind of cool. Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh
no,
no,
go ahead.
you're good. Go ahead.
You can
I,
go
I
ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's kind of cool, the idea they have, because it's like, sure, it's a first person shooter.
Yeah,
However, at the same time, they're trying to accomplish something that I don't think it has been done. Like, that's a spy game, with a lot of elements of like, well, I can say I'm playing Dishonor, and it has some element of like that sneakiness,
yeah.
but you know, I don't think no one has perfected that yet.
I think that Carter just read my mind. I was just gonna mention it. If it's Titanfall 2, if it's kind of like Titanfall 2, kind of like the movement of Titanfall 2, then that'll be pretty good.
Oh
It'll
no,
be rad.
I don't think it's gonna be. Titanfall movements. Oh my god, that's like it's insane.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that the girl's gonna jump on the walls and leap through there. No, no. I'm just saying the way they move in the game. You know,
That's why I want to give I gotta give Dead Space another chance because when I
That's
tried Dead Space, I came from playing in Titanfall 2, and I think that was
Oh, dude, yeah,
that's
that's like going from like having zero gravity to to use an old quote from a horrible movie, like your soul is slogging through oatmeal.
Yeah, I think it wasn't fair. Yeah,
Dead Space is great, but yes, I mean, like, you've got the weight of that armor, like you feel the weight of that armor in the movement versus Titanfall for sure. So something I was going to actually mention, because you asked what we'd like it to play as or whatever. Personally, I would be kind of interested in seeing a Perfect Dark in the same vein as Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Riddick.
Oh, I never
Wow.
played it. I saw the movie, but I never played the game.
So if we saw a game in that kind of layout, like, so it's a first person, it's a little bit slower moving and stuff, but it is very stealth focused. I think that would be kind of an interesting one. Personally, for me, when I think of stealth, I go back to those days of Chronicles of Riddick and like sneaking around and having like the different eyesight and stuff, because you've got the oh god, what was it? It's not the shine. I think it's the shine, right? For your eyes. You have no idea, right? Okay. Good talk. Good talk. No, so basically, like, the whole thing is he ends up going in and he ends up getting like this surgery where he's able to see in the dark.
Okay, I'm seeing some images now. So it wasn't first person, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
it was first person.
What
it was very
came out
stealth focused. It was originally for the Xbox, and then they brought out a remastered version, or like an updated version, or Game of the Year on 360 with the DLC Assault on Dark Athena, I think is what it was.
Oh.
And it was really good. Like, on 360, it was up-resed a bit. Unfortunately, it never ended up in backwards compatibility. I'm sure it's because of the licenses, because it had the who's who of different ones that were kind of in like a rough time. Like, Universal was tied to it. It had a couple other companies that were tied to it as well, that I think were basically being shuttered at that point. So I think that's mainly why we never saw it in backwards compatibility. Okay. But it's great. Yeah, if you ever get a chance, you can still get it on PC.
Okay, I'll look it up. Before we move on to the next topic, all I want to say is, for Perfect Dark, I hope they don't, I hope they nailed it with the weapons, because that's one of the things I love from the N64. They have a bunch of weapons, and the weapons had special, I wouldn't say ability, because it's not like ability, but each weapon had like 2 different modes that you can actually use. I hope they nail that, and they had a very cool concepts that a lot of games even today I don't see, like, having so many like variety on weapons like they had. And another thing is, I hope they keep all the modes they had, like the challenges, and probably they won't have cooperative, but at least keep all the multiplayer mode they had with all the challenges and all that. I hope they do. And yeah, I'm very excited for that game.
Yeah, I can imagine. Or you know how it can be also, like the Alien Isolation. If you never played Alien Isolation, then that's another way to be stealthy, because in that game you gotta be really freakishly stealthy, and you can't like hey, let me run. Nah, that does not work in that game. Trust me. That game. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, did you play that one, Silent Side, for the Alien Isolation?
Oh yeah. Oh, I played so much of that one. I beat it once, and then I went back into it and tried to play it again, I think like a year ago. and I got my butt handed to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I went in, I never ended up doing the DLC that came out for it back in the day, and so I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. I went in there, and it was ruthless.
I mean, just
It was so
you
brutal.
know, I played the game, and just every time I meet, like, I get to a point, I'm like, just gonna let it go because I just get like mad because they kill me so much. But really, I'm gonna jump into it and I'm gonna beat that game. I have not been in Isolation in that detail, man. How the game starts when you're in the sleeping pod, right? Everything, just everything, and the computer. Oh man,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm playing. I'm like, I'm back in Aliens, like the movie. Oh, it was incredible. I mean, that.
I think the only thing that you're going to be bummed about, and sorry, spoilers for anyone if they never played it,
Yeah.
and you're going to run into this, and I apologize, but you will notice it even if I don't say it. That game originally looked like it was supposed to be right around 12 to 13 hours in length, right?
Yeah.
And I think someone told them, no, we have to have a longer experience. So they extended out the storyline by another maybe 8 hours or so.
Okay.
So where the game ends in a situation where you're like, oh, this is totally the ending of this game. Something happens and then it continues, and then other things happen, and it's like the Lord of the Rings Return of the King of video games, where it's got like seven or eight different endings, and you're just like, okay, this is surely it. No? Oh, okay, we're still going. It just kept going over and over again. It's a bummer because the first 12 hours of that game were just amazing. Flawless.
Because I know it's about Ellen Ripley's daughter, right? She goes into space, and she reaches something. Yeah, it was like a story. It was just a story based on Ellen Ripley's daughter. She reaches this place, and there's an alien inside this place. The robots also turn against you, try to kill you. It's freaking crazy. I mean, and everything is. It's a really fast paced game, but
Very atmospheric.
you gotta be very stealthy. And man, when that alien comes after you, man, it just
over.
won't quit. It's over. You gotta. If you don't have a flamethrower, I mean, trust me. I shot it with the gun. It didn't do nothing. It came at me and just whoop it. That's it. You're dead. It didn't. No. Also, guys, moving up to the next topic. There was a first gameplay review for Steel Rising, a Rise on Xbox Series X and S, September 8th. 2022. Did you guys see that awesome trailer for that game?
Yes. I might be in the minority on this one, but when I was watching the gameplay for it, I'm not very impressed yet. It looks interesting. It does look interesting with like the alternate Victorian era and stuff like that. I dig that, but the gameplay doesn't grab me yet. I'll probably have to see more of it before I can really like dive in and be super stoked on it.
Yeah, the game goes back in the French Revolution, in 1789, and what you embody is a robot called Aegis, which is made from Eugene Valkausen, an engineer working for Louis. I forgot. I my Roman numbers are bad, and but when I saw the trailer though, it reminded me of that Liza P trailer, the Pinocchio game. The guy from looks like it reminded me of that. Also, it looks like pretty much it's like a Dark Souls game. You got hooks, you got guns, you got weapons, suit them up and stuff like that, and it looks pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing. I mean, the robot is set to help out kids and innocent people and save them because the enemies are killing them. So it looks like a pretty fun game. I'll give it a shot when it comes out and see how it goes. Really?
Is it Game Pass? Is it in Game Pass?
No, I don't think so. Well, not yet. I don't think so. Yeah.
But
I was gonna say it's amazing how like it happens a lot with movies also. Like one type of movie comes out and it's popular, and then for some coincidence, other movies comes around the same time that are also similar. Like you have when I remember when The Martian came out. I think it was
Yeah.
Martian or Mars, the one with
Matt
what's his name?
Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah,
Yeah, The
there
Martian.
were several movies that came out around the same time that was about space,
Yep.
and it's not like those movies where we're like, oh, this movie's successful, let's make a movie about space, because of course they got a time frame where they got to make the movie,
Yeah.
but it's just a coincidence. And now, like, it's funny how Elden Ring had become such a huge game, and all these Souls type games are
Yeah.
coming out. Is it maybe because since we got Elden Ring in our mind, maybe in our head, maybe we're noticing more of these games,
Yeah.
or what do you guys think? Because it's
I
funny,
mean,
I've seen
I,
so many games now.
this. I've been thinking like a while back. Like thinking to myself and saying like, wow, this generation we're gonna have a lot of soul type games. There are a lot of soul type games. I mean, you got
Mhm.
Liza P. You got what's the one with the monkey's name? Keep forgetting the name. Um,
Wukong.
Wukong is another one.
Oh
Well,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
is that one like a soul game? Because
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
don't
It's more
yeah.
like, I would say it's kind of like a hack and slash at the same time. Like it's kind of like
It looks like a
it.
Souls game. It looks
It
pretty.
looks, but I don't think it's the same as a soul game. Because I think I don't know. It's kind of different. I'll say it's different. I don't know
Yeah,
what is it about it, but it's kind of different.
it's kind of different. But the thing is, I mean, wow. Like I said, this generation we got a bunch, and I think they're gonna be coming out more
Oh
Souls
yeah,
type games. There's gonna be a lot of Souls type games, really.
look at Tunic. Tunic's a soul game.
Tunic is a Soul
Yeah.
game.
Oh
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I haven't
yes, it
tried it
is.
yet. I
Mhm.
haven't tried it yet.
Oh, you have to try it. It's cool.
It's good. Yeah, it's got a great art style to it.
I got
Also.
to I got to I got to That's one I got to finish.
Yeah, me too.
That's wow. But
I oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish, but real quick. No, I was just gonna say I feel like with these Souls games, it reminds me of when you play GTA and you collect one of the cars, one of the really hard to find cars, like a Banshee or something like that. And as soon as you get that car, all of a sudden it's the only thing you see on the streets from then on. I feel like that's how it is with these Souls games. Is like as soon as one came out, all of a sudden they just came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool, and if implemented right, like they can be a lot of fun. Even hell, even just look at like some of the other like the other hard games like that, like the Rogue Lights and Rogues and stuff like that Rogue Legacy that came out years ago. I still go back to that game on a regular basis, and it abuses me every time I play it, but it's so much fun. Like it just the art style, the loop of the game. Like it's the same thing with Elden Ring. Like I'll run out, I'll kill some things for a little bit, I'll run back, cash in for some XP, and then I leave it, and then I come back a couple days later. Like they do really good at pulling you back in. So
Yeah. That's the thing though, and it gets harder and harder each time. Oh man, so that Elden
yeah,
Ring, I'm in a part, man, where just like I said, that part on it just lost 300,000 souls, and I was like, every time I die, I just my eyes just like I get frustrated. I'm like, no, no, not this again, no. And I said, you know what, Lou, you need to take a break. You need to
yeah,
take a break because if you get frustrated, you're not gonna want to keep on playing it, and you're just gonna let it go. So yeah, I've been taking a little bit of breaks and just like let me play another game. But yeah, I'm gonna hop on back to it. It's hard though. It's hard. But yeah,
Mhm.
lots of soul games gonna be coming out. Soul type games. I mean, really, people are working on it because it's something that people are looking forward to. It's something that people are enjoying, and not only that, it's also a good way to compete against From Software. They need a competition because right now they were alone in this whole soul game thing. You know what I mean? This whole Souls thing, they've been alone, and so competition from other companies, that's awesome. Keep on making those games and bring it on. Let's go. More competition, the better they will get. That's the way how I see stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, time to jump really quick on our main topics. First of all, let's start.
Wait. Before we go to the main topic,
What's up?
let's give a shout out to that chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I was gonna say that.
Oh, okay.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You just did.
I had that timeout ready.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing is that you can't use the timeout here. Yes.
Actually, I can.
He has.
You can't.
I have
got a new
a
version.
much better one.
Yes.
No, you can't.
It's yeah. It's
Yeah.
a timeout. Timeout
You want me to
2.0.
use it?
No, it won't work. No, because I just keep on talking. It won't work.
Oh yeah, watch. So guys, a quick timeout for Crazy Dude. He thinks
hold on,
we don't have a timeout anymore, but
while we're in timeout, because Tony Grasso actually just threw something in chat that blew my mind. Rogue Legacy #2 is that what we're talking about? Because if there's a Rogue Legacy 2 coming out, I am going to waste a lot of hours on that game.
oh, I think there is. I
feel
saw
like
a
maybe
game
I
that
remember
starts with
seeing
Rogue.
something about it
Something
way back,
with Rogue,
but
yeah, it's coming.
oh, dude, man, I will be all over that. If that's coming out tomorrow, I'm going to waste a lot of time on that game. Tony Grasso, you have made me a very happy man this evening, bringing that to my attention. Should we bring Crazy back now so we can do shout outs?
Should we? Or I'm
I think so. I think the chat deserves their shout outs.
All right, here it goes. Hey, he's back.
Hey, welcome back.
But that's not. Oh man.
I thought you could keep speaking. What's wrong? What happened? Your voice went away?
Did anybody hear me while I was away?
Nope.
It was very quiet.
Oh. That was that.
So now you gotta be extra. Now you gotta be extra careful.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier about what's it called, Master Chief's bottom being part of the armor, so I can moon everybody in the game, but nobody gave me a timeout because of that.
You were towing the line. You were towing the line.
Oh, you're telling. Okay. So yeah, I didn't get time for that. So let me give a quick shout out who just came up in here. Let me see. Let's see real quick. Okay. Jedi Peter, what's up, my dear brother? Happy to see you here. Wait, who else did I haven't said a shout out to? I know. I said
Crazy.
What's up?
Crazy. I'm gonna choke you.
Why are you gonna choke me? Why? I'm looking.
I sent you everyone in the chat. I literally sent you a list with everyone that has been in the chat.
You have you have the boo sound effect, right?
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
there's actually not a boo.
No. Oh, wait, yeah, the guys who just came in. Yeah, but I'm just saying about the guys who just came in. Let me see. Okay, I did say hi to Han Solo. I did say hi to the Dark One. No, I did not say, hey, okay, hi to the Dark One real quick. Let me see. I said hi to Tony Grasso, Eternal Umbra. Familia, que lo que viva la familia, how are you? ¿Cómo tú estás, mi querido hermano? Happy to see you here. And JC also, that is here with us. And Jedi Knight Peter, what's up, my brother? That was the, I did not say hi to Black Cardi. Black Cardi, what's up, Black Cardi? Happy to see you here. All right. Oh, because here's the thing, though. You guys put this on the chat, but I'm YouTube, so yeah, because I can't see. You know, I'm jumping here, jumping there. Okay. All right. Let's keep on going.
No excuse.
What? No, let's do. Remember. No.
Hey, time out.
No.
Time out.
I do have something to say, though. This is new. Remember, I'm learning. This is a new thing we're trying out today.
Okay, no excuses. Let's go.
So,
don't be Kyrie Irving, please.
Who? Who's that?
Sports is just a sports thing. Just disregard that. We'll keep on moving.
All right, guys. let's get on to the main one of the main topics of today is Ubisoft reportedly being targeted for acquisition. Wow. This is a huge topic. I mean, Ubisoft wants to sell. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Mr. Silent Cipher. Let's start on, are you happy that they're selling? Are you happy that you want somebody to be bought by? Who do you want it to be bought by? Give out, just pitch out your ideas. What do you think about this whole Ubisoft sale thing?
So it's all going to depend on who's acquiring them, right?
Yeah.
If it's something like Amazon,
Yeah.
no. I there are obviously some that I would like to see, Microsoft. But that being said, their plates are a little full right now with current acquisition that they're working on. So it makes me a little nervous, right? Like with this ActiBliz situation and with how much volatility it's caused in the market, how much volatility it's caused in the fan base of either side. I get nervous, right? Because if they try and throw that extra log on the fire and say, hey, guess what? We're buying Ubisoft also. There's no way that one of those acquisitions will go through. So the way I see it, they almost have to basically sit on the bench until the ActiBliz acquisition, that's a mouthful, goes through before they could actually do another acquisition like this. I would argue that Microsoft would have to look at doing very small, very agile acquisitions moving forward until this one closes. Risk the possibility of getting a bunch of grief for it and having a bunch of lawsuits or any kind of stuff like that come at them. So it does make me a little nervous. Like maybe if this is very early on, like early talks, and we're finding out that like this isn't going to happen until fiscal year 23 or something like that, then okay, that puts my mind at ease a little bit. But I'm nervous that if they are jumping into acquisition talks now, or there's a possibility they're going to be acquired, I don't see it being Microsoft. I doubt it's going to be Sony. And if it's neither of them, that makes me really nervous who the remaining options are, because you got stuff like, you got stuff like Amazon, you got stuff like Tencent, you've got ones that I would be nervous. Now, if those games still remain to be third party after the acquisition and they don't string it into their own service or something, then okay, maybe I'm okay with it. But I'm cautiously like I'm nervous personally.
Because here's what I think though. I mean, for example, I feel like they they do need to be acquired. Like for me, as my own personal vision, I mean, I think they do need to acquire. I think they do need a leader. They got a bunch of projects going on, and for example, you got what's it called? You got this Assassin's Creed Online thing. When I heard that, I was like, no. That's I saw that, I was like, man, no. And then you got this whole what's it called? The pirate game, Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones. Yeah,
Skull and Bones thing going on. I was like, man, they have to sit down again and redo it. It's been like they have like a couple things, going on there, and also they need, I don't know, but they need like a new head in there to just bring up all the good stuff they had, all the love they used to have for the games, because their games are good. I'm not saying that they're bad; they're good games, but they could be better. Like for example, Division, right? When I first saw the Division trailer, this happened. When I first saw the Division trailer, I was like, oh man! After I saw this, I said, hey, I gotta get myself an Xbox. After I watched that trailer, I fell in love with Division. I was like, man, if it's gonna look like that, that is beautiful. Man, everything on that trailer was beautiful, but then when we got the game, we were like, okay, this is not But
Yeah, I mean that was very much that bait and switch, right?
yeah,
Of like,
yeah,
hey, check out our really awesome CG trailer that we can make. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't look anything like this.
yes,
It happens, right? Like we get that bait and switch on a regular basis. I feel like on these games, um, I do. So, I wasn't really thinking about it until we found out that potentially they're up for acquisition. But you look at the behaviors that they've gotten into, and it's very similar to Bethesda, right? Before they ended up getting their acquisition, in the fact that you started seeing stuff like Elder Scrolls Online, you saw Elder Scrolls Blades, you saw all these extra games and stuff that like it's like, yeah, okay, like not necessarily for me or whatever. And they had been so focused on those single player experiences
yeah,
or whatever in the past, and then all of a sudden they were trying to grab that money so they could support themselves moving forward, and you could tell that the money flow was maybe hindered or less, and they were kind of struggling. I feel like that's where Ubisoft is right now. It feels like they're kind of in a wounded situation, rightfully so. Like you can only release the same type of game so many times before you're going to start seeing it affect your bottom line on your sales, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if people keep getting the same game over and over again but reskinned, it's only going to get you so far. It's
yeah,
like sports games. Granted, sports games are an anomaly. Sometimes those still just keep going. Look at Madden, right? But
yeah,
there was that usual gameplay hook that Ubisoft had for every single game there for a while. It's like, oh, you're playing Far Cry? Hey, go to that tower. Oh, hey, you're playing Assassin's Creed? Hey, get to that tower. Oh, you're playing Division. Hey, get to that tower real quick.
yeah.
Like the loop was the exact same thing. Like it had a formula. So I think they are seeing some of that. But it came to mind when the acquisition talks started coming into play. Is
I
like
mean,
they are in a rough situation right now, and it wouldn't
yeah.
surprise me if it did happen.
Yeah, I mean, for me, they need more love into their games again. They need to come back to where they were back in like the 2000s. Like when you saw a Ghost Recon game, you're like, "Whoa, let me get this Ghost Recon game. This is gonna be awesome." And then you played the online version of it, like for example, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare.
Advanced
What
Warfighter. Yep,
One Fighter, yeah. One of the best Ghost Recon games
that
I've
was so good.
I was like, man, I love the multiplayer. I had a lot of fun with it. It was
Yep.
fantastic. It was awesome.
Gra was amazing.
And here's the thing, though. It was just guys jumping into a mission, going in the mission, completing the mission, and that's it, going on forward. That is something that they could just bring back instead of making this Ghost Recon so open world because they make it so big and open worldish. And another thing is got a bunch of bugs. I don't understand why some of the games have got so many bugs. They actually don't sit down and try to fix them before they throw that game out there. It happened with Breakpoint. I think it was Ghost Recon
Yes.
Breakpoint.
Yeah.
It had a lot of bugs, but the game is not bad. But it
No,
just had
but
it had a lot
the
of bugs.
bigger the game gets, the harder those bugs are to squash in a timely manner, at least,
Yeah,
right? Unless you have a massive team
yeah,
sitting there dedicated only to that moving forward, which generally, based on what we see with games, like the teams go off and start playing or start making other games. They start to shutter off other groups so that way they can start focusing on the next project. So
yeah,
if you have something like Breakpoint where it's that big a scale and
yeah,
you have issues, like unless you're bringing in third party QA teams and stuff to kind of help you squash those bugs, you are going to be in a world of hurt because it's going to take you a long time to catch up with those bugs, man.
yep, yep. I mean, seriously, they have such great games and such love for. They just need to bring back that love they used to have for those games. Because, for
Yes.
example, you sit down, you watch Far Cry, like the Far Cry 6. Look at that game. That game is beautiful. I mean, Far Cry 6 is one of the most beautiful games I played last year. Great game, great everything. The story, I'm not gonna say that I did not like the end to that Far Cry 6 game. Really, I was like, oh my god, okay. But Other than that, the game was a lot of fun. But yes, again, it's the same old Far Cry game, same old thing. Jump on tanks, do this, do that, grab weapons,
Yeah.
hunt animals.
It sure looked really good.
Yeah, it's really good. But again, we're having the same Far Cry game again and
Yes.
again. You know.
I get
Yeah.
what Crazy is saying. The thing with them is that I think they're just focusing on throwing content, and they're also looking at other people, other company, and what they see successful. Like they see the
Yeah.
game as a service. Oh, let's make games as a service. Oh,
Yes.
there's battle royale. Oh, let's make battle royale.
Yeah.
They're just thinking of money grabbing, and that's
Yep.
the problem. I mean, sure, you can do those things, but you also got to keep the franchise that are if a franchise is known for something, you got to try to keep it that way, and also evolve those franchise, kind of modernize them, but in a good way, not in a way that you're just thinking about money grabbing. You got to think of ways to make the experience better to the players that are fan to that
Yeah.
franchise,
Yeah.
and then create new IPs for the whatever the games of service you want to create or the battle royales you want to create. Make them new franchise. Don't try to move. I think Assassin's Creed, they want to make like a what is it, a game as a service or
Yes.
a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
I mean,
They wanted to do the same thing, and they started shelling out Sam Fisher as the same thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they're like, oh, hey, we know you like Splinter Cell. How would you like Sam Fisher in your Rainbow Six? And I don't think anyone said, oh, me, I can't wait. Like,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like that's kind of where they've gotten into, right? Is like they're basically just being like, hey, you see this selling point we have over here? Come over to this game because we have this character now. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like you use, but I get it. Like on a business aspect, right? Like if you have characters that people relate with, that people have seen in games in the past, it makes sense to try and draw on that nostalgia and stuff, right? Like we haven't seen Sam Fisher forever, so sure, some people probably were like, oh, I can't wait to have him in there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. They should do new IPs, but I also see that if they do a new IP, maybe they're not going to have as much as much player base, because it'll be something different. It won't be a character they know.
Special shout out to Jay Vargas. Vargas, what happened to Brooklyn, man? I told you they were gonna get smacked.
Oh no.
You know what I'm gonna do one day? I'm gonna invite Jay Vargas here on the show to whip your butt. That's what I'm gonna do. Jay Vargas, you gotta come on the show and whip his butt.
That'd be cool.
Anyway,
Yeah,
regarding the sale, I got a theory about Ubisoft wants it to be bought up. I think if you see, they're adding some games to Game Pass, and I think they're in the process of negotiation. What if this statement is just to try to get an upper hand on Microsoft, to try to get more money, like trying to tell them, like, if I get more money, maybe because I need money.
I think it still comes back to the game of, Microsoft's, they can't say they're hungry right now, right? Like their plate is full. They've got an acquisition that they probably have to finish before they can even consider another one.
But maybe that's not the game plan. The game plan is, you want our game, you want the Ubisoft Play and to be added to the Game Pass.
I got you.
Give us more money, and then we can talk about that.
You're saying not mainly acquisition. You're saying like, oh, this allows us to get some of those like add-on items.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of those things, like maybe we send you some of these things because it's not an acquisition, but you pay us.
Because to me, it wouldn't make sense if I was the head of Ubisoft and one of the biggest player, or probably the biggest player right now, the person that's giving out money left and right.
Yeah.
They got their hand tied out. So why would you sell now when you can probably get them in the conversation, even if they don't buy me? But the price might go up if they're one of the person trying to negotiate. So I got that small theory. I think they might be doing this because they want to be in Game Pass. However, they want more money, or they want maybe a higher percentage or something. This is part of that negotiation.
I mean, we've known for quite a while now that there were the rumors of Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass, right? So if something like that happened, it wouldn't surprise us a bunch, but also, especially like you said with this, if you throw something out like this, maybe you end up getting paid a little bit more to pull that thing into Game Pass, right? You're like, oh, hey, we're in talks for acquisitions, but if you want to give us some extra money, we could let Ubisoft Plus go on to Game Pass, I suppose. Like, I could see it as a power move.
The other thing is, like, we're thinking of selling, but before we sell, we can strike a deal for like 10 years or so.
Yeah, you could do what EA Play did with like their EA Access, where they got it onto the system like way back in the day, and then we saw more of that get like introduced over time. But like they paid up front to get that service into into Xbox and into Game Pass, so that way they had an extra flood of third-party games. I could see that.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, because they want to put their games pretty much in service games. I mean, I understand why Ubisoft wants to head that way. Like, for example, Rainbow Six. That's a big example. Do you guys remember the last Rainbow Six game that actually had a good story, which was Rainbow Six Vegas? You guys remember playing Rainbow Six Vegas?
I remember playing a bunch of Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2.
Vegas 2, and the story to those Rainbow Six are fantastic. And that's what I'm saying. Like, do these guys actually need to be like acquired, or to see what's to have like a new guideline, for to stop without this like, for example, another game, For Honor, right? A lot of people liked it, a lot of people disliked it. That's another game for me, I did not like it. That's another big service game they had. They what other game?
But For Honor has a story mode. I don't know if you played it.
Yeah, but it was like a really, really short story mode. It wasn't really that long. It was really
mainly focused on that multi. Yeah,
it was mainly focused on the multi. It wasn't that long. But I don't know how it is nowadays. But like I said, but when I had it back when it started, it didn't have that much content. It didn't have that much things in it. And so I was like, man, So here's another question. If Sony would, let's say, if Sony would acquire them, right? Would Sony benefit from the fact that they have online F2P experience that could help Sony with monetization of MP type games if they acquire them?
I personally think that's not even possible. I don't think they can acquire Ubisoft.
You don't think they acquire them?
Sony can't acquire Ubisoft.
Even if they were to provide the money that Ubisoft is worth, the amount of employees that Ubisoft have, they cannot manage that.
Exactly. It's one thing to acquire a company. It's a whole other thing to acquire all the overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what were the numbers we checked yesterday, Sauerblue and Gaming Lobby? It was
over 22,000 employees.
Damn, man, that is
yeah.
That's more, just so you get it in your head. That's more than Microsoft Studio and Bethesda put together.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because every time that we see a Ubisoft game and you roll credits on it, it's got like 30 different companies.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
that
Ubisoft A through Z.
and those 22,000 and something, that's the ones that are like in Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln.
Mhm.
So they could be even more
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's another thing though. But like I said, really, I would like for them to be acquired because they really need a lot of. For me, I think they need a lot of investment in there for new technology, new stuff. They have loads of great ideas. I mean, that Riders Republic, it looks like a fun game. Remember
It is.
when the crew came out? Also, that idea from the
Yeah,
crew
it
was
looks
awesome.
Yeah.
The crew was also a fun game, but it didn't get that far. But I played the crew and I had fun with it. It was a simple, easy drive around open world game where you can drive around anywhere around. I think it was the United
you,
States or something.
you
That was
think what they
crazy.
you know what I think they also have issue with? I
Well,
don't think their marketing is
it's that
good
good. Yeah,
because they have a lot of cool games. Like you said, Rider Republic. I think that's a pretty cool, fun game,
It's a
and
lot of fun.
I feel like that game could have done much better.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, I feel like we saw some advertisements for it on like the dashboard of the Xbox, but I feel like that minus maybe one or two IGN ads, I didn't see a lot of advertisement for that game.
no, not really.
Mm.
I think that would have been a game that would have benefited a lot if it would have came day one Game Pass.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it would
I
have.
think
Yes.
it would have been huge for them.
100% with it being
and
that big open world. Oof.
and I do hope they put it on there because really I would love to give it a shot before I invest in it because that's something I like to do. I like to give games a shot on Game Pass and then I say, okay, I'll buy it right
Yeah.
there if I like it. Because
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard for you like, okay, I see this, but let me try. I want to try, but where can I try? You know, there's no demo, there's no nothing like that. Okay, I gotta wait for the jump on Game Pass. But yeah,
Crazy. What if I could offer you that you could play a demo of it, but you'd have to pay for the demo?
Oh no. Oh no. I know where this is going with that news. Oh man, did this
That's
came
all
out.
I'm gonna say. All right, let's keep on going.
Oh
Let's keep on
no.
going.
No.
Hey, that's the best thing right now.
Really, I mean, when I read that, I was
Oh
like,
my
no. I mean, that was so crazy. That was some crazy idea. I mean, that's
You know what? Before we move on, I do have something to say about that.
all right. Go for it.
I think they're making a huge mistake with if the rumor is true that they're forcing developers to actually make demos for them if they want to be in the service and also giving them a time frame. That's ridiculous. And I think, I mean, the fact that they're already charging developers like a huge amount just for them to be in the, in their store, to pop up in their store, I think that's insane. And now this, I mean, wow.
It just doesn't seem like that great a value when I can get an entire month of a few hundred games or more on a competing service for like $15.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
But that's not to get too messy with it. I don't know. You see that, and it's like, as a consumer, which we always talk about, this is like, we're gonna go where it's best for us, right? Like, you gotta do what's best for you in that. And for me, I think I would rather have a library of like 200 or 300 plus games instead of like a couple demos.
Yes.
Personally.
Yeah. I just had to make that comment because of the developers.
Yep.
I mean, I feel for them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. Anyone who's got their hand forced in a situation like that, like I don't envy anyone who's being told. I mean, it's the same thing as like E3 time, right? Where people are told, hey, we need a trailer. We need you to stop what you're doing right now and make us a trailer so we can show off your game. like right while you're in the middle of your development cycle. Like stuff like that, anytime that you stop the developer from doing what they're doing is not a win.
Mhm. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. This is what I love about it. And I said it yesterday, and I'll say this again. Instead of focusing about what are you gonna do to push this service and what are you gonna bring to it, right? First things first, try to get the service to reach everybody around the world. Try to push it so everybody can get a hold of it. I mean, yesterday on Gaming Lobby, I asked, for example, ASCAP, hey, ASCAP, do you have PlayStation Now over there, for example? He said, no. All I have is Plus, but I can't get Now. Because in Colombia, we don't get Now. We can't reach it. So they're like they said, they're going to focus on a couple countries. I think it was Asia, Europe, and United States.
Is PlayStation Now in Dominican Republic?
I have not tried it, but
Okay.
I don't know if it is. But if it is, okay, cool. But I don't know how good it will work because of the internet service. I don't know because again,
Okay.
it's
But I'm curious to know because there's a few people capping from the R about the service, and it's funny if they don't even have it.
It is, well, oh god, this is a while ago. As of okay, let's see. It's not listed in PS Store. Sorry. Let's find it.
I haven't tried it. I'll give it a shot. I'll go into it and log in and see how it runs. But people that have tried it actually have the way of trying it. I don't know how. They said that it works fine. But I'll give it a try. But like I said, I will focus on trying to see how that service would reach. And the whole 2 hour thing, demo stuff like that, if it's beyond $35, I'm like, okay, but okay, that's a good idea for the guys that are above $35. Okay, that's cool. But what about the guys that are below, like those indie games that need to be presented, that they want to show their games for people to grab them and play them and do all that stuff? What are they gonna do? What kind of representation are they gonna get? It's like in Game Pass, right? You see this indie games. Look at, for example, Tony Grasso today said something right here on the chat. He said, hey, I have 100 hours in Weird West, right? We also know someone in the chat that's been playing it too. The Dark One has been playing it too. But and yeah, how did they play it? Because they grabbed it from Game Pass. For example, another one that I'll give a big hint. One of my favorite indie game companies called Bitmap Moro. I love their Xeno Crisis game. How did I meet them? I installed the game in Game Pass. So my question is, how is Sony gonna push all those indie games? Because they really need that push. They need that push.
It's hard too, right? Because like you touched on the monetary side of things, right? But it's like if you're charging someone like $35 a month for it, or whatever it's going to end up being, or whatever the case is, people are going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, well, I want to get the most bang for my buck, so I'm going to play the games that are the big ones, like the double A's, the triple A's, stuff like that. They're going to play those first. So, like, will you get some bleed off where some people will end up doing some of the indies? Maybe. Yeah. But at that price, that the people that are jumping into it are like, oh, dude, I want to make sure that I get those top tier games out of the way first.
Yeah. Here's the problem I have with it. I don't have a problem with the trials because, I think it's even a cool idea. It's fine. The problem I have with it is you're having the trials and you're also having your retro games locked up in the higher tier service. Yeah. So you gotta pay the most amount. Mm-hmm. And also they're telling you that it's over 700 games. Those are the same games from PlayStation Now, most likely. I mean, if you look at it, that's around that's the same games that PlayStation Now has right now, 700.
We still don't know if they're going to be.
We don't know, but it's most likely going to be the same. Maybe they'll add some more, but most likely it's going to be the same. And then the other thing is that a lot of people are not noticing is you no longer have the option if you only want PlayStation Now. You don't have that option
Yeah.
anymore.
No, they got rid of that.
They got rid of that. So now you have to pay the higher tier. And then on top of that, if you're paying the higher tier, if you want to play the exclusive, you gotta pay $70 for each one. And then the competition is giving you the full games. They're giving you all the exclusive they want. They're giving you third parties they want. And they're giving you a bunch of features, a bunch of other services thing like xCloud where you can play anywhere. They're giving you so much that's the problem. When you compare it, there's no comparison. So they have to me, they should lower the price or add more stuff. I don't know. They have Crunchyroll, they have movies. Even though if I'm a gamer, that's not what I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
But however, you gotta entice the service because what you're giving me, it's not it's not even competition to me. It's a no-brainer.
Because here's something that I have in my head with this, right? And I'm gonna say it because this is how I think I'm seeing it, and it could happen like this because this is all about a game of chess, right? Jim Ryan is probably playing chess right now. He's playing chess little by little.
He's playing checkers right now.
He's playing trust me.
He's not playing chess.
He's playing Big Boy Connect 4. That's what it feels like.
Let me tell you what
Phil is playing chess. He's playing checkers right now.
No. Phil and Xbox are beyond that thing. I mean, they're already they're beyond that level already. They're way beyond. What I'm saying is that right now he's playing chess because I'm gonna tell you something though. Right now, and it's true, there's no exclusive games for Xbox right now, right? It's gonna be a while for the lineup to come out, right? It's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna be 23 going to 24. Probably be in 24, 25, 26. We're gonna get a huge lineup of Xbox games, probably, right?
I think this year we're gonna get a few.
We're gonna get a few, yeah. We're gonna get a few, but
I think it starts this year.
We'll see Redfall in October.
Cross our fingers, man. Let's cross our fingers. We hope we do.
We'll see God of War in 2023.
Yep, of course, because God of War this year has got a big.
Well, before Crazy keeps going, you know what? Yeah. I agree with him. Jim Ryan is playing chess. I'm sorry. He's playing chess.
No,
he is. The only thing he's in checkmate right now.
No. He's not in checkmate because you know what he's waiting? He's waiting for, like, for example, he's waiting for that lineup of Xbox to just come in and start dropping in, right? And so when that lineup drops in and it starts getting good scores and people start saying, hey, Xbox got quality games and they got it in the service and they got this, they got that, then he's gonna try to pull a move and say, hey, we're gonna have to start putting our games into this or do something, you know. I think he's gonna do a move right then and there to put his games probably day one on that service, you know, because seriously, that's what he's got to do. He's got to wait for that moment to happen. But for now, let's promote this thing. Let's get it out there. Let's get people to jump into this, you know, join this service and see how it goes. And then we'll see along the way, what are we going to do? Are we going to put the games they want like Xbox does it or some of the games, you know? That's what I'm thinking that they're going to do because that's what I would do, you know? I would do that. You know, if I was Jim Ryan, I would do that because I don't have the money as like Microsoft does to have the backup for that, you know? See, and also Jay Vargas says, I agree. Jim Ryan is waiting until his hand is forced. That's what I'm saying. I think he's waiting for that move. When he's forced,
I feel like it's a fool's errand to wait until your hand is forced.
No, because here's the thing, though. PlayStation is still popular. It's really
popular. That's fine. If you wait until your hand is pushed in this situation, like we all know that game dev right now takes forever in a day, and it gets delayed. So betting on the fact that you can be like, oh, okay, Microsoft, you go ahead and make your move, and then I'm going to make mine. That's not smart.
Yeah.
You
That's
need to
what
make sure
happened
your
to-
ducks are in a row way ahead right now, because
what hap-
everything gets delayed.
Yeah. Because like I'm gonna give you another example because you're gonna jump into this one. This is another next subject right there about how PlayStation is looking, right? I mean, having a PC digital store front to distribute Sony first party PC games. They're looking for somebody to work on the PC side to make their games on PC day one. That's something that right now they are way behind on that subject, which Xbox has really advanced because last generation they started doing that. They started putting the games. Hey, let's put the games on PC. Let's start putting this here. Let's start doing that there. With like for example, Game Pass. You have Game Pass on PC, and you find Gears of War on PC right there, and you find Gears of War on your console. Day one, both sides, right? So that's the thing, though. Is PlayStation when they're gonna hire their person? Hiring. When they're gonna hire that person to help them out for the to put the games on PC, are they gonna do it also right away? Because right now, in their positions, with the lack of consoles that's going on, they should put the games in PC day one. What do you guys think about that?
They should, but just
Yeah.
like what you were talking about just now, and just like what Decado mentioned,
Yeah,
Jim Ryan is not proactive. He's
not proactive.
reactive.
He's reactive.
And so in a situation like this, like that's great. You want to start selling more PC copies or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they planned in the pipeline as going to PC, like that'll happen for sure.
Mhm.
Anything that they plan on now is probably going to get delayed for a while, because then you're going to have to bog down another team to make a port for a game. And if you've got your main teams focused on big projects, you're probably going to try and reach out for a third-party team, like a small team that can come in and help, right?
Yeah.
And in that situation, like those small teams, those ones that can come in and clean up the mess or make ports, they are a high commodity. So if you didn't have those plans a couple of years ago, you're probably in quite a waiting line to get your stuff to that market.
Yeah.
Like again, it's all about being proactive and not reactive.
Yeah.
And I don't see Jim Ryan being anything proactive.
But I gotta tell you something. If they don't move, for example, on the PC thing, because on the lack of consoles, because earlier today, on the episode, right, we mentioned something. Xbox has had its best sales performance now in March in 11 years, right? Look at those guys. I mean, this month they've been selling mad crazy consoles. Is it because is there lack of PlayStation consoles right now going out there? Yes.
I don't think it's that.
You
No,
don't think it's that?
I don't think it's that.
It could be that.
There is.
You know what happened? Crazy.
What
If
happened?
you look at the numbers,
Yeah.
the PlayStation, they're selling around the same amount they were selling last year. So their numbers are not actually going down. It's just Xbox are they're producing more Xbox, so they're selling more.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
it's not like the numbers went down from PlayStation.
No.
So they're selling around the same amount, and
Yeah.
right now the competition is neck and neck almost, and
Yeah.
I think that's why I think they're making a huge mistake, Jim Ryan, because sure, last generation you blew the competition away,
Yeah.
but to me they're making the same mistake they made after the PlayStation 2, where they kind of thought they just because how the previous generation went that they were going to blow away the competition, and that kind of played a huge factor. And I think Xbox made the same mistake also with the after the 360 era. They kind of let their guard down and try to come up with all these different ideas that didn't play out the way they wanted, and it took them time to recover.
Because the thing is, remember that Xbox E3, they try to sell you a pretty much a TV console thing, like you can play video games and watch TV at the same time, and you can talk to Xbox and Xbox responds back. And that E3 performance was a killer. That was
Because
just
the
horrible.
thing
Yeah.
is that with the 360, they managed
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that was amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
the with the live service and people playing multiplayer and all that, they thought they had it. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
everyone wants to play live. They want to play multiplayer. They want to connect with their friends. Let's evolve and push it a step forward. But it looks like we weren't ready for that yet. But if you look
Yep.
now at the consoles, it's basically the same thing. Everything they talked about, it's almost the same thing. If we look
Okay.
at the console now, they just
Yeah.
didn't. One, they didn't market it the right way, and two, I think they
Yeah.
pushed it too much on us.
Because
So
here's something that you hit a mark right there that I'm gonna say is right. For example, look at Xbox, right? I remember that the Xbox Series X was announced in I think it was Jeff Keighley's, right? In Game Awards,
The
right? Was
Game
it?
Awards. Oh
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that was when the first time it was announced, and it was a year before. But PS5, people were like, "What? What's going on with the PS5?" And there was a bunch of rumors, like it was overheating and a whole bunch of stuff. I remember I read so much stuff about the PS5, and all of a sudden, I think it was 6 months later, they just come up with the PS5. This is PlayStation 5, right? Right. They showed this PlayStation 5. They got people. They did not ship it to what like Microsoft did. Microsoft said, "Hey, bunch of YouTubers here. Here's the console. Go have fun with it. Do some demos. Like for example, what's his name? Austin Evans, right? That was his name. Austin Evans. Is that his name? Sablo? Uh,
Austin Evans. Yes, Austin
yeah.
Evans.
He received a console and he was like, "Hey," and he showed what the console can do and stuff like that. And I remember PlayStation, they got a bunch of the Japanese YouTubers to go in there. They weren't even allowed to touch the console. Say, hey, you cannot touch the console. Just grab
Yes.
the controller and play the game. That's it. And it was just like what the heck is going on? Like wow, did you just come up with this real fast or what happened?
It was
And
weird. It was weird.
it was a weird thing. It was a weird thing, and the Series X already has been marketing for over a year, and they've been little by little they've been tossing things out. Oh, we have this, we have that, we have all this stuff in here, we got this, and PlayStation just focused on its what's it called is SSD. Let's talk about SSD. We got the fastest SSD in the market,
yeah.
and this and that. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, and it
Yeah,
goes from, oh, let's talk about SSD to, oh, Microsoft doesn't
yeah.
have any games to it changes
It's every
depending
argument.
on
It's
what the
every argument.
situation
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
There's never a, hey, yeah, we misstepped. It's, oh, well, that's just because of this. Like,
yeah,
I hear it with a couple I've had instances at work with employees where like it feels like there's just always an excuse
yeah,
as to why, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't get this done because of this, or I didn't get this done because of this, and now this. Like it feels like there's never taking responsibility and taking ownership for a misstep. I get that their shareholders don't appreciate them taking, the L in a situation like that, but to show humility and to show that you can be humble in a situation where
yeah.
you're in the wrong, I'd say is not a bad thing,
Because
But
personally.
you know something? It also, at the end of the day, these companies, they want your money,
yep,
and they're not gonna say things if they don't have to. I mean,
No.
let's if
No.
we look, let's look at Xbox, for example. Microsoft. They had, as soon as um they got their behinds crushed last generation, they stopped
Yep.
giving numbers, and all of a sudden now, you know, they're not exactly giving numbers, but they're kind of, they're celebrating that they're getting good numbers, and they're kind of in this, like, they're not saying exactly, the numbers, but they're kind of letting you know, hey, we are selling, a bunch of consoles, even though that's not their target anymore.
which Microsoft did state, and I'll be curious if this cadence ever changes, but they did state that even if the numbers start to catch up, they're not posting numbers because they're going off of the metrics different than what they used to.
But they will reference it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because
we saw it earlier this month, wasn't it?
And they're probably not going to give numbers because of the promises they made, and then they're going to look silly. But if they I'm sure
I do think we'll see stuff like, well, we didn't oversell this, but we did sell over this. They'll give us a ballpark. They'll give us a general ballpark to kind of go off of.
Yeah. I think the problem right now, and I wish things change, but it doesn't look like. Unfortunately, we have, fanboys on both sides.
Yeah.
Some of them, horrible fanboys on both sides.
Yeah.
But to me, and this is not because my preferred platform is Xbox, but to me, the Xbox fan base is more critical to Xbox. When there's something they don't like, for example, Halo Season 2, there are elements of Season 2 that, the fan base doesn't like, and they're critical about it. But for some reason, the other platform, they're not critical, and that to me, that's horrible, because the companies, when they see that, what they're gonna keep doing the same. They're not going to improve. And at the end of the day, what we want is, we want these companies to be pro-consumers, to give us, to give us things. I mean, if they can give us whatever they can, anything is good. Anything that it's free games, if it's discount, anything we can get is good. And if you see the competition is doing it, why not call out your platform?
And that's where I'm going to head into it. Why they're not going to call out for your platform? Because people just keep on supporting it. Example, have you ever seen a discount on a Nintendo game? No. Have you ever seen a discount on a controller of Nintendo? No, it's hard to find a discount on Nintendo. It's really freaking hard. Why? Because, for example, look at Mario Kart 8. I think it's 40. Mario Kart 8, it's at 44 million sales right now.
I actually been pretty surprised that the Splatoon 2 DLC, it's gonna be free, and also that Metro Dread, the new mode with it's kind of like a DLC. Also, it also came free. I was shocked. I was like, wait, Nintendo's doing this?
I mean, surprising. They're gonna throw a couple things in there, and do something that to get the fan the fan base happy. But at the end, they always support it. A game comes out a year later, still costs $60. People go buy it. I mean, if let's go, for example, let's go Amazon right now. Let's go look. Zelda Breath of the Wild. What's the price on it, real quick? Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think it's still $60 if I'm wrong. Here it is. I'm going into it right now. It's $57.99, and that game came out in 2017. You see? So
it's short of Black Friday. It never goes on sale.
If like I said, I mean, and they're not being stupid. They're being really smart, because as long as the fan base is still buying it, I mean, like I said, Jim Ryan is waiting for his hand to be forced. Why? Why isn't he doing it now? Because people just keep buying their games like that and keep buying their consoles.
The difference is Nintendo fans are a different fan. Like Sony fanboys and specific Sony fans are definitely their own breed, but Nintendo's a whole different game.
Oh, I know, but I'm just giving you an example. That's a good example. That's why they don't lower their price. That's why they don't do this. It's also PlayStation's not doing this because, like I said, like today I was reading something in a chat right in WhatsApp, and they were talking about Game Pass. Like I don't like to rent games. I'm like, and I gave my point of view Game Pass. For example, and I said it yesterday in Gaming Lobby, Game Pass for me Game Pass. It's like me going to Blockbuster back in the day, looking at all these games, right? And it's like when I click on the game, I say, whoa, this game looks cool. Let me check it out. I click on the game, and all of a sudden, it's like like I grab the box and flip it over to see what it's about, right? Because back in the day, we rented games because of the way the box looked like, and you flipped it over, you're like, hey, this game looks pretty cool. Now, the difference is when you click on the game, you get a trailer and you get a couple of photos down there. And what you do is, okay, you say, let me download it, let me try it. It's like, hey, I rented this game. So I played it. I liked it. Now I get the option, hey, do I want to buy it for my collection? Yes, I want to buy it for my collection. Let me buy it and just keep it for my own collection, personal collection. Let me get it. That's what, for me, Game Pass is. And I explained that to that person. Do you remember when you were a kid, you went to go rent games? That's the cool part about Game Pass. You go right there, you play your game. If you like it, you buy it right there, and it's yours. You don't have to worry about it. But their point of view is like, no, it's just renting games. And they said, we're not going to support the Sony premium thing because if they're going into this, it's about renting games. But I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, you're missing out on so much fun games. I'll say this again. Tony Grasso mentioned, hey, I played Weird West 100 hours in. The Dark One is playing Weird West. I play Xeno Crisis from Bitmap Moru. That's just an awesome freaking game, and I love their stuff. And right now they're releasing a game. I think it's in May. I don't know when it's releasing. I can't wait for it to get it because I fell in love with that company. That company does such awesome indie games, and I'm meeting new indie games which are loads of fun and that's thanks to Game Pass. So, like I said, if the fanboys or the guys on PlayStation are not getting into this yet, little by little, they will get into it because that's going to be in the future because it's like Netflix, right? No, at the beginning, Netflix was this, but everybody has Netflix now, right? Everybody has Netflix and everybody has Disney Plus, and they watch the movies, say, bye, that's it. But you don't get the option to buy them like you do here on Xbox or what you're going to do here on PlayStation, right? And so, guys, again, that's the future of gaming. It's going to be like that. That's not going to change, and I hope it does and continues to grow because really, I like the way things are right now. I save money in my pocket, which is really important for all of us, right? That's what I think, though. Jay Vargas says when the Blizzard Act deals goes through, and Sony loses a lot of casual gamers, they will have the hand forced to make PS Plus more attractive, but losing the COD grip is going to be big. I agree with you, Jay Vargas. That's what's going to happen.
And it's going to be a little while, right? Yeah. Obviously, because there are contracts that are in place. Stuff like Call of Duty, I think, goes out through 2024, 2025, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So their commitments have already been made that obviously Microsoft will adhere to, unless they decide to pay the fee to cancel that early. But based on the way that they approach things, I don't think they'll do it. It's going to be a while before we see that shift.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised to see ActiBliz games come to Sony consoles, but big games like Call of Duty, like some of those real big bangers and stuff, I could see them locking that away. And it makes sense because you can say, hey, you could buy this game for $60 or $70 here, or you could get Game Pass where you could play the game anywhere.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, before we jump to our final topic, guys who are in here, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe, and let me make a couple shout-outs real quick before to jump into the last topic. I guess the last one that just came in is Mr. Wandering Dutch. Hello, sir. Thank you for coming by. And hey, everybody, stop picking on Jay Vargas because even though he lost, he still's got a pretty good team.
I don't know. His team got swept. I mean, they didn't even win one game. Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring Jay Vargas here one day. I'm just gonna hide and leave you and him all together here. It's gonna be a big fight in here between y'all. That's gonna be Sour Blow versus Jay Vargas. We're gonna have so much fun in that episode. So
I'll just sit back and enjoy a whiskey while you guys talk sports.
And you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get the broom and I'm gonna sweep him too.
Oh, yeah, season three. Oh, the good thing is I got a big bag of popcorn back there, so I'll just grab and just start eating while y'all fight each other. That's what I'm gonna do.
Sorry, Jay. Sorry, Jay.
So for our final topic is Xbox hiring to help it find more acquisitions. So before I start on this, you guys remember a couple months ago that we heard that Microsoft was trying to expand its marketing around areas around the world. Did you guys remember that subject? Did we talk about it?
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know if we talked about it, but I remember seeing it in the news.
Yeah, I thought we did talk about it. We talked about it that we were going to go to China. I think it was Africa, other places, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So remember what I said right there? I said, hey, this is a good opportunity to get people in there just to run around and get more developers for them to buy. You guys remember when I said that? Which is a pretty good idea. And I'm glad that they're hiring because here's the thing though. Since Microsoft is seeking a manager of gaming strategy and development whose responsibility will include developing and evaluating the business case for content and technology acquisitions, it seems to indicate the company has no plans to slow down its purchasing of developers and other gaming companies. So, guys, Mr. Silent Cipher, tell me, what do you think about that? Do you think that they are really slowing down on purchasing or what? Because I'm actually pretty excited that they are doing this move, hiring more people to go out and get more studios for them. So, what do you think?
So again, it kind of touches on what we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier, right?
yeah,
Which is the fact that, like, obviously with the ActiBliz acquisition, you know, it doesn't seem likely that they're going to be able to do like a massive acquisition like what they've been doing. So then, you get people in there to start looking at some of the opportunities where they could bring in some smaller deals, right? Like Sony's
yeah,
been doing a bunch of those, and it feels like piecemeal people don't get as upset about it
yeah,
potentially. It's a little thing. It was a small company. It's no big deal. It's not you know an entire company or something. So yeah, I'm excited for it, and I think having those talent scouts out there and trying to help out, like that was Phil's big job for a long time, and I think he still does some of it, but that was a big thing he always did, right? He went to Japan, he went to these different companies and stuff, and he tried to make sure that those relationships were there and tried to see what he could do to get Microsoft to crack into those areas, right? Those territories. Um, so I think it makes a bunch of sense. Like it's honestly, it feels like it's kind of their only move forward at the moment because again, you can't do another ActiveBliz acquisition right now without drawing way more attention to you and possibly more lawsuits and
yeah,
stuff like that. But
yeah,
if you go on a piecemeal scale, potentially you can fly under the radar a little bit, say you get some small companies here and there. I think they could pull stuff like that, and they could actually, even if they don't buy anything for the next few months or next year or whatever, if they build those relationships with those companies and they get that rapport with those companies, I bet you they could get exclusive games for like time limited windows or eventually pick up those companies. Like there's a lot of options if you build good rapport with those companies.
yeah.
So I think it's smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart idea because really, since right now they're putting marketing teams around the world, why not also hire people just to scout? Send them to scout out studios, get them to scout out talent.
Yep.
Because
You can't
seriously,
be everywhere at once. You got to make sure that you got eyes on the situation.
yeah. So that way you can get good talent in there, good games in there, and that's what we need. What do you think about that whole idea, Salvo? I mean, are you really happy that they're actually hiring more people, more scouts to hunt down studios and get more games into the company? I mean, are you really happy, excited about that?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
more games, the more games, the better. I mean,
yeah,
sure, it's becoming a problem right now because we don't have time to play them. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be like pick and choose. We're gonna have to choose what we can play, unfortunately. But
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, seriously, I'm actually really happy that they're still pushing. It also is going to help them out on console sales. Like again, look, like we talked earlier about this March, they did pretty well this March. In 11 years, this March they sold they did pretty good hardware sales this month. So if they really work on the marketing and get people out there to scout more talent, more studios, oh man, that's going to be pretty amazing. And of course they have to, because right now it's a race. Everybody's in that race. I mean, you got, because people forget to mention, I love when I read the articles, they only talk about Sony and Microsoft, but hey guys, you got Tencent back there. That's a quiet monster, and that monster is acquiring studios like crazy. You also got Amazon, which is quiet for a while. You got Netflix. You got pretty much everybody looking to buy. This is the competition that is going on right now, and that's is to get the more studios under your wing to whip out the more games that you can. And that's the competition that's going on. It's not console sales, not that. No. The competition is that, hey, let's get what we can of studios and bring them under our wing. And that's what these guys have been doing. And I'm actually really happy that they're hiring and putting on the moves and yeah, so we can get more games to Game Pass to play and more stuff for the catalog, even though we don't have enough time. But hey, man, it's a lot of stuff. Also, Embracer's another one. Yeah, look, they caught a mention right there, Embracer. Embracer's another one that's got a bunch of studios there.
I don't know how they have. I don't know how they have any more money with how many acquisitions they've had.
This is what I find funny though. Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard. They go headhunting to them. But you got Tencent that's got more studios than them, and you got Embracer that's got more studios than them, and they don't say nothing to them. You just say, let's go yell at Microsoft.
That's again, I think the reason why piecemeal is probably the best way to go, right? Yeah. Is if you do one here, you do one there, it's like, oh, hey, Embracer just bought some companies. But like, if you look at how many Embracer has bought over the last couple of years, it's nuts. Yeah. But because they did it in a small piecemeal scale, it flies under the radar to an extent.
Yeah, I think it was because since Microsoft spent $70 billion,
77.
77. What was it? 77? I don't remember. 70s. It was 60. It was 60.
Oh, sorry. 69 billion.
Yeah. They spent since they spent 69 billion. That was like, whoa, let's take a look at this. I think they're trying to be monopoly.
Yes.
Dude,
yeah.
Seriously, that cannot happen. They still don't have enough studios to be like the monopoly thing. It's like Scarface money, right? You come out and you're like, oh, we're buying the entire town. That's going to draw some suspicion. I'm with you guys. Right there all the way. It says, Jedi Knight Peter says, it's all political, mate. I agree with you, man. Well, it started being political. I just did not know why politics got into it. But I'm not going to get into that because really, it's for why, it's not, why. When I heard those politics talk about it, I was like, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. But either way, not with you right there. So, hey, guys, I guess we're right now in the final part of our show. Let's start with our awesome outros. We had a fun episode today. It was really fun. Chat, you guys are awesome. You guys did an awesome job today. And hey, guys, remember, give us a feedback on the show today if you like the new way the show is run and how it works, because we are giving it a shot. We're trying something new, which Sour Bro found around there, because since he's the head technician of the show, he found this pretty cool format. And tell us give us the feedback, sound and everything. We'd like to hear comments below. So hey, let's start with our outros. Let's start with you, my dear brother, Silent Cypher. Where can everybody find you?
Right, well, you can find me on Xbox, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, wherever. Xbox Live as Silent Cypher. You can also find me on PSN as Silent Cypher. I don't visit it very often, but I'm there. But you can catch me here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with these lovely gentlemen doing XBI Podcast. And besides that, you can find me usually lurking around in some of the different YouTube podcasts and stuff. You find me in Charities, you find me hanging out with Dutch. You find me hanging out in some of the other ones as well. So keep your eye out. I'm always lurking around. Wherever you're going, Silent Cypher is there.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. How about you, my brother Sour Blow? Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, SourBlow18. And you can also find me on YouTube, SourBlow Gaming. It's a Spanish-speaking channel. We're growing the Spanish, the Latino community there. So if you have any Latino friend, if you speak any Spanish, even if you don't speak any Spanish, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, support. We're trying to, expand, grow both community, and, it's awesome. Having a nice time.
All right. But so before my outro, I want to give out a huge, really a huge shout out to Wandering Dutch for his community indie show this Saturday. Hey man, if you guys have not seen it, type in Community Indie Show 2022. Go watch it. It was freaking awesome. I loved it. I sat there. It was long, but it was awesome. Seriously, guys, lots of games. They showed lots of stuff. Really enjoy it. So really, guys, type in right now Community Indie Show 2022 and go watch it. Huge shout out for Dutch for putting that thing for us. Really had loads of fun, and everybody who was there participating with them, really awesome. Really appreciate
crazy.
it.
He just gave us a huge tease right now. Next week, he will be announcing the plans for next year's show. So that'll be cool and interesting.
That would be awesome and interesting, man. I can't wait to hear about it because really that indie show was fantastic. I mean, I spent my Saturday afternoon just watching the whole thing, man. Oof, it was awesome, really. Thank you, Dutch, for putting that for all of us. Really, it really opened me to see more indie games that are come out that I can't wait to play them and have fun with them. Really, man. Thank you so much, man. So, for me, guys, where can you find the crazy one? Really easy. You can find me at Crazy Louis Gaming on Twitter. Really easy. That's where I dance. I do stuff. I can say good morning and do a couple shout outs to the family out there and all that stuff. Really have fun on my Twitter, guys. Jump on there. And I also do the Joker Louis, which a lot of people love. And no worries, pretty soon we're going to put on some cool content over there soon enough, guys. No worries. Also, you can find me here Wednesdays at the Crazy Louis Gaming YouTube channel with my brother Silent Cypher and my other brother Salvo talking video games in Xbox International at the Crazy Louis Gaming YouTube channel. Really, guys, you can find me here and on Tuesdays with Salvo for the Latin community at Salvo Gaming, where we talk about the gaming news in Spanish. So if you're from the Latin community, come and join us. Really, guys, help us out there, support us, and hit that like button and all that stuff and subscribe too. So guys, like I always say, love gaming, stop the hating, and another thing, chat, you guys rock. You guys are awesome, and thank you for hanging out with us in this episode. And like I always say, remember. What did you just do, Sablo?
I gave you a nice horn.
That's amazing.
Hyped you up a little bit.
That hyped me up. Let's go. Let's rock. Do it again. Let's get crazy. Yes. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.